everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Imaginary Boys. I am one of the two hosts, Mr. Habanero, and I have my secondary super hot skater boy, gamer boy, Mr. Lettuce. How are you doing, Mr. Lettuce?
I am not a skater boy.
I know. I just thought it would be funny to say it.
I guess.
I was going to say gamer boy, but I was like, I need to say something clever that also rhymes with gamer boy. And then I thought of Avril Lavigne, and then the tune of like Skater Boy started playing in my head. And I was like, I'm going to call Lettuce a skater boy. And then she said, see you later, boy. And she regretted it.
Man, speaking of things people regret.
Uh-huh.
This is one of their cold openings, isn't it?
I mean, you know those pauses, those big, long, awkward pauses? I usually cut them out. You know that, right?
I mean, you have every right to.
Is this our episode? We're just gonna go from awkward pause to awkward pause. Is that what we're doing tonight?
I thought maybe you wanted to recover yourself.
No, why would I do that? Acting like I have dignity.
You cold opened with Avril Lavigne. I just think you wanted to redeem yourself.
Nah, dude. No, what do you think this is? Come on, man.
A podcast with two podcasting pros. You're killing me, Smalls.
Hey, okay, I gotta fess up about this one. I used to when she was popular, when Avril Lavigne was popular, so I was probably in between elementary school and middle school when Avril Lavigne released Skater Boy, and she was super duper popular for it. Damn, my little boy loins at that time just were way into her. I thought she was just the hottest damn thing on the planet when I was a kid. And I'll never forget that. I remember I used to subscribe to Nickelodeon magazine, and there was a issue of Nickelodeon magazine that had a splash page cover on the front of just Avril Lavigne with her, dark eyeliner and her look at how edgy I look and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, Avril Lavigne, please be my wife someday. And I remember I used to have, that was my favorite issue of Nickelodeon magazine. I had it, I had all the issues lined up on a bookcase that I had. And I had that one just mounted in the front of all the Nickelodeon magazines, and I used to read the interview that they had with her and multiple times, and I was just like, oh, she's my one true love, Avril Lavigne. Oh, and then I got older and I got over it.
Okay.
Yeah. There you go, man. There you go.
I guess that's just where our age difference goes.
Yeah, it does. I know you were an older person at that time.
Yeah, I mean, I could tell you stories about what Christina Ricci used to do to my pantaloons. Because we're about the same age, Christina and I.
Yeah.
So
another one that I used to have a major crush on was Amanda Bynes. Amanda Bynes. Do you remember Amanda Bynes?
No.
That's okay. She was a Nickelodeon star. She got started in Nickelodeon. She originally started on the show All That. And then she got really popular, and then she got her own TV show on Nickelodeon called The Amanda Show. Amanda, please!
Okay, so just to let you in on a little something.
Did you actually try to look her up? Because she is kind of totally lost control over everything.
Well, I mean, she was child star
Yeah.
in
She
the early
was.
90s.
Yep.
I mean, the dirty little secret is they all did a Britney.
Yeah, no, I know that. Like I
Except
used
for
to follow
except
with the
for except for JT. JT is like literally the only, early, late 90s, early 2000s
JT.
Justin Timberlake.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, Timberlake is like literally the only Disney Nickelodeon star from that like era
Hmm.
that didn't go batshit's insane.
I secretly love Justin Timberlake. I think he's
I
amazing.
mean, I respect him. He's pretty cool.
I think he's I think he's a surprisingly intelligent dude, and I respect him for everything that he's accomplished across his lifetime so far.
I respect I respect him for being a child star during that time frame
That didn't go
and
insane.
and didn't pull a nutter.
Yeah. Well, I mean, another guy that I can think of who was a child star on Nickelodeon who is very successful and a very nice and interesting person is the what's his name? The guy who played Josh in the Drake and Josh show.
Yeah,
Was
that
his
was
name actually Josh? I don't think it was.
yeah, okay. I don't. So my Nickelodeon era
Yeah.
was late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah.
I straight up missed like all of the good Nickelodeon stuff. I got Double Dare, and you can't do that on television.
I remember
M-
Double Dare.
My, I actually met Mark Summers once.
Oh, that's cool.
My big Nickelodeon star,
Mm-hmm.
other than Mark Summers, was Alanis Morissette.
Oh, that's interesting. Did Alanis Morissette get started on Nickelodeon?
Yeah,
I did not know that.
yeah, she was on. You can't do that on television.
Oh, that's interesting. I did not know that. My sister is I mean, I don't know if she still is, but my sister was and might still be a big fan of Alanis Morissette. So everything that I got to know about Alanis Morissette was from my sister. Um, and I mean, I'd be lying if I said that I didn't enjoy Alanis Morissette's music. I mean, it's good stuff. Like, I mean, not all of it's great, but there's a good portion of it that's pretty damn good. Um, but yeah, no, like the guy who played Josh in Drake and Josh is it's crazy too because I don't know if you guys have seen that man, dude. That man is just ripped. Like, because it's funny because he used to be the childish like fat kid, right? And he was always like pretty fat and like an adorable. He had an adorable little baby face, and he was just like a cute little tiny like chubby kid. But if you look him up now, that dude is like one of the most masculine, like absolutely totally ripped like dudes I've ever seen. Like it's like the most insane transformation I've seen with a character like him. And it's funny because if you look up like Drake, the guy who played Drake, um he still looks exactly the same. He still looks exactly the same as he did when he was a kid in Drake and Josh. It's so weird. So like and it's funny because he was popular because he was the good looking one. But it's funny because I feel like that he looks exactly the same as he did when he was a kid. So I mean he's still good looking. He's still a good looking guy. But like the guy who played Josh is just like he is just a specimen of like absolute Chad masculinity now. It's insane.
I mean, it happens.
Yeah, man.
I mean, you remember Carrot Top, right?
Yeah, isn't he like crazy ripped now or something?
He got roided the fuck up.
Yeah, I've heard about that. I haven't seen any pictures.
Like he got tired of being picked out for being a ginger, and
he was he used to be a scrawny guy too. Like he was pretty scrawny.
Like he was your stereotypical scrawny ginger, and then he got tired of being Carrot Top.
I mean, I guess like I guess I didn't really experience all the because I know that there were a lot of people who disliked him, but I mean, my overall impression of him while I was growing up and knowing him as Carrot Top was that, like, he was all right. He was relatively funny. Like, he had some funny moments, and I knew of his existence, and I didn't have any reason to not like him. So I just kind of was like, oh yeah, you exist, and sometimes you're pretty funny. You know,
I
but
mean, he was a less funny, poor man's Gallagher.
yeah, well, I mean, like I said, like, I mean, I didn't go out of my way to see his stuff, like see his comedy routines or anything, but I knew he existed. I didn't have a reason to dislike him. And the few things that I remember seeing, like the clips or whatever that I saw of him, I was like, yeah, it's pretty funny. Like, is this all right? Um, but yeah, I have heard people say that he's crazy ripped now, which is kind of
Like,
like
steroid ripped.
I kind of want to see. I'm gonna look up a picture of him really quick, just to kind of
His eyebrows have muscles.
his eyebrows have muscles. Oh yeah! Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my god. There's this one insane picture of him in like what's it called, like a Y shirt. He is so freaking ripped. Holy shit. His muscles have muscles. Oh my god.
No, dude. No, he's like, make fun of me now, bitch.
Yeah, and he wears eyeliner now, I guess.
I mean, he always wore eyeliner.
Well, I just saw like a side comparison of like an old photo of him compared to like a recent photo of him. Vastly different pictures. Vastly different, especially like his current look. His face is smoother. Like his eyebrows look like they're trimmed.
And painted back on.
Yeah, and like he has eyeliner. Like he looks great. Like he looks great, but he also looks very intimidating. For example, I would never want to start a bar fight with him ever.
Like,
in my life.
I'm not going to talk. I mean, I'm not going to talk smack about. I'm absolutely not going to talk smack about his comedy in front of him anymore.
I mean, like I said, I never had any qualms against him. I always thought he was all right. Oh my god, there's like shirtless pictures of him, and it's just insane. Absolutely insane. Wow. Okay. Well. I just always imagined him as a scrawny dude, but I heard people say that he's ripped, and so I couldn't imagine it. And now I've seen pictures, and I'm like, oh boy, yeah, I can see it now. Holy crap. But yeah, man, just I don't know. It's really interesting to kind of like remember people that you watch growing up when you were a kid or a teenager or whatever, and you see them now, and it's just like, whoa, whoa, man. Like, I mean, going back to what I was saying before, which is when I was mentioning Amanda Bynes, I used to have just like the most gigantic crush on her. But I did follow her for a while. Like, I was actually kind of like curious, like as I grew up, I was kind of like following what she was up to as she got older and while I was growing up. And yeah, she hit that crazy train pretty hard, and I felt really bad for her. Like, a lot of it was like not like, like, oh, she's losing it. Like, you know what I mean? But like my reaction was more, oh, she's losing it. Like um I just I don't know. I really liked her, and I thought she was genuinely funny. Like, I don't know if anybody else used to watch the Amanda Show like I did. I used to watch that show. I used to watch every episode of that show. I was so into it because I thought she was so funny. I thought she was just hilarious. And like the fact that she was so funny to me was like this kind of like attractive thing about her. So I even remember like when I used to watch all that before she even had the Amanda Show. I used to watch all that, and I used to think that she was like the funniest person on that show. Like, I mean, it was definitely a competition with Keenan and Kel doing Good Burger. and all that stuff, or the obsession of orange soda. But they were pretty funny, but something about Amanda Bynes was just, I don't know. I thought she was hilarious, and to a relative degree, I still kind of like, reflecting on her work from the past and how I experienced it as a kid. I still respect her for it. Like, I'm sorry that she had to go through what she had to go through growing up, and all that stuff. But just, I don't know. I still respect her, because of the influence that she had on me as a kid. So I don't know. Were there any other people that you kind of like? I know that you mentioned Justin Timberlake, and you also mentioned Alanis Morissette. Um, did you follow Alanis Morissette intensely or anything like that, or just curious?
Well, not really. I mean, I knew who she was from You Can't Do That on Television.
Right.
And then Jagged Little Pill happened.
Mm-hmm.
Her first breakout album.
Right.
I was like, that name sounds familiar. And I'm like, oh, that was that girl from Nickelodeon that got slimed on all the time that had the 80s hair. Like, I mean, You Can't Do That on Television was a late 80s,
Right.
Canadian sketch comedy. So, of course they had the 80s hair and the shoulder pads and everything and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But then I saw Jagged Little Pill and I was like, oh, okay, so that's Alanis. That's what she's doing now.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I didn't.
Does she still make music? She probably still makes music, right?
Uh, Possibly. Like, I mean, I don't know what else she would be doing.
Yeah.
It's not
Well, I
like
mean, she might be retired,
Do musicians ever really retire?
Depends how passionate they are.
I guess.
Like, for example, like, I always think of like Trent Reznor. Like, music isn't like a career, it's a lifestyle for him,
Yeah,
Like,
but he's also very, very much not retired.
but that's my point. Like, he could have retired if he wanted to. And like, I think there was even a point where he threatened to retire. And it's just like, he can't retire because it's not a career for him. It's literally like he lives and breathes music, like, it's just,
Right.
he's driven to do it. It doesn't matter how much it's paying him or how tired he gets of working on it, because it's literally his lifestyle.
I mean, according to Wikipedia, Alanis is still active.
Okay. All right.
I mean, the last thing she released was like 4 years ago.
Yeah. Maybe she's just working on a big project,
I mean, possibly.
Mhm.
The Cure, one of my favorite bands, has been, almost set to release an album for the past 3 years.
Yep. Makes me think of uh Tool, who they did 10,000 days, and then they just went silent for like, what was it, like a decade? Like, I think they went silent for like a decade. And then they were like, oh, by the way, we're dropping our new album like 10 years after 10,000 days. And it's just like, all right, man, bring it. Like, for sure. Let's go. So, I mean, like, they could, like, I could totally believe, just because of that right there, that, an artist can go silent, like dead silent for like 10 years, and then be like, by the way, 10 years, we've been making music this whole time. Here it is. Like, it's like, oh, you still exist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, I guess that's what that is.
That was a good album, by the way. The most recent album that Tool did was really good. Like, I was actually like worried that it wasn't going to be good because they went silent for like 10 years. I think it was called Fear Inoculum. I think that's what it was called. And gotta say, even after 10 years of not producing any music for Tool and then coming out with Fear Inoculum, so good. Like I listened to that album like on repeat for like 2 months after it was first released. It was so damn good. Um, that's because I love Tool. I mean, I don't know. Do you listen to Tool at all? Are you a
No,
Tool
not
fan?
at all.
Okay, that's all right. I kind of figured that maybe you might not be uh, into Tool that much, but
No, just
that's
not.
okay. That's okay.
Never really got into never really understood it.
That's okay. It's kind of funny because when I think of your particular taste in music, I could definitely say that I could tell that Tool would not be a band you would be into. But I adore them. I wonder if they're working on anything. It's been a little while since Fear Inoculum came out. They might be absent for like another 10 years for all I know. Who freaking knows? I'm looking it up really really quick because I'm curious to know if they are in fact working on anything. Okay, fine. Tool band. Jesus Christ. In 2020 they announced they're working on something else. Let's see what this says
Yeah.
here.
See, I got a question.
Uh-huh.
I thought Tool and A Perfect Circle were basically the same thing.
I mean, so the only thing they have in common is Maynard. That's it. Maynard James Keenan.
Okay, so
They're literally different bands that
okay.
have the same singer, and that's it. Um,
I mean, that would explain Tool going away for a while.
Yeah,
because if Keenan is running with APC, then
well, so actually, he has a third band, and what I'm reading here, very quickly, is that most of the work he's doing is with his third band, which is called Pussifer.
oh
Which
yeah, there's also that.
Yeah, which I love Pussifer, but I only have one of their albums. I think they've had like 3 or 4 albums since their first one or something like that. But yeah, Pussifer's great. I remember I had a coworker who was like, "Dude, have you not heard like the most recent Pussifer albums?" And I'm just like, I just haven't. Like, I'm just not attached to music in the same way that I used to be when I was younger. I just kind of like let music come and go for me now. And I mean, I actually I listen to a lot of jazz music now. Like, I know that people kind of are like, "You listen to jazz?" Like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And it's just like, I can't, I like it.
Jazz schmaz.
Yeah, man. But I mean, the kind of jazz that I listen to is like, I don't know, it's different. Like, it's not like stereotypical. Like, I listen to weird music. Okay, I listen to um, I mean, I'm about to name off some bands that I listen to nowadays that I guess are kind of jazz like. I listen to Flying Lotus. I listen to Teebs. I listen to what's that one? Comtrues. I listen to Tycho. I listen to Gold Panda. I've been really into a guy named Fiji Ouija. Fiji Ouija's been amazing. I recently got into a artist named Potsu, who surprisingly I got really into Potsu and started exploring their music a lot more because I thought they were really interesting. And I recently found out that they used to do music for some anime, and I had no idea. Mostly like jazz stuff. So like they did like jazz style music with no lyrics for a few different animes. Um, and yeah, so like what else is there? There's a bunch of stuff that I listen to that's kind of weird and funky that I guess is kind of jazzy. Potsu is more on the jazz side than the other ones I named off. Like when you hear Potsu, you're like, oh yeah, that's definitely jazz music. But I don't know. It's relaxing. I like to play it when I'm like working on something or playing games or something like that. Because I'm more into the music that I can get just kind of like slap on in the background and just let it play and can enjoy it while I'm doing something else, you know? So that's mostly what I've been listening to. I don't really listen to as much rock and like, because I used to like, because I was talking about Tool and, you know, I think about a lot of the bands that, you know, we've talked about in the past before. And it's like, well, I mean, I still like them, but I don't really listen to them as much as I used to. You know, like for example, like I don't really listen to Smashing Pumpkins that much anymore, despite the fact that I still adore them. And you know, I still love, you know, Beck and a lot of other stuff. I'm like David Bowie is still my god of music, but I just don't really, you know, listen to that stuff as much as I used to anymore. It's just it's a little more difficult for me to be able to put that stuff on and concentrate on other things while I'm listening to it, you know?
You've become a square.
I mean, if sure, you want to put a label on me, you bastard, fine, call me a square. It's hip to be a square. Da-na-na-na, da-na-na-na-na. Come at me, bro.
I mean, sure.
Well, I mean, okay. What kind of music do you listen to on a regular basis? Like, if I asked you, did you listen to any music? What would your answer be today? Today, did you listen to any music?
No.
Okay, well then there you go. Like, you know, because I still listen to music. It just so happens, like for example, I listened to music today. I did. I was listening to music while I was editing, and except when I had to really concentrate on certain pieces, I would turn the music off. And I
I
had
mean,
to.
I didn't willingly listen to any music.
Oh,
I probably listened to more jazz than you did.
oh, is it like background music in your building or that you work in or something like that?
I know. I mean, no. I've been on phone with vendors and stuff all day, so I got to listen to hold music, which is smooth jazz and elevator music.
Right, shit-tastic jazz. Got it. See, that's the thing. I can understand that there's like good jazz and then there's shitty jazz. And like the kind of jazz that you hear in like an elevator or like on a wait for a phone, that's shitty jazz. That's shit-tastic jazz. Oh. So yeah, fine. You listen to some music and you were forced to do it against your will, I guess. But I mean, you didn't have you didn't make the choice to listen to music today is what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I didn't say, "Hey, I'm going to listen to some music."
Yeah. See, I usually, you know, I've been trying to just I listen to a lot of music almost every day, even like at my job because like they let me um, listen to music while I'm working, like off my phone. So I do that a lot too. So I can probably say that I still listen to music just about every day. But it's just that like I like my taste in music. Like I listen to a ton of electronic music too, like just like um chill step, I guess. I listen to a lot of chill step. Anything that can just kind of get me to relax and stuff like that is the kind of music that I prefer listening to nowadays. So
When I've had to commute past couple weeks, I've listened to our old podcasts.
yeah, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's super rad. I love that.
As a matter of fact, I have some stuff from episode 6 I wanted to update us on.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, tell us.
So it's because so I had so episode 6 I made a couple of Nintendo based predictions.
Mm-hmm.
One of them was kind of so much of a prediction. I mean, it was a prediction, but it was more of a forewarning
Right.
about about the sales for Metroid Dread.
Yeah, yeah.
So Nintendo of America, and usually companies don't do this, but they gave actual sales numbers for the U.S. for the month of October. Nintendo of America did,
Right. Right.
and there was two numbers that kind of stepped out of the page. In October, Nintendo sold 711,000 Switch units.
Okay.
320,000 of those
Right.
was the Switch OLED.
Interesting. Okay.
Metroid Dread sold 850,000 units in 3 weeks.
Wow. That's a lot.
I mean, in
It's,
in 3 weeks. Okay, well, in Metroid terms, that is a lot.
yeah.
That is double the pace for the next best-selling Metroid game, which was Prime,
Yeah.
which over the lifetime, Metroid Prime sold 2.4 million.
Mm-hmm.
And right now at the 3 weeks numbers, granted that was, we don't know what the November sales look like, except for NPD seemed to indicate they dipped a little bit.
Right.
Because a lot of Nintendo's like big evergreen titles went on Black Friday sales. So everybody, bought Mario Kart. So everybody who bought a Switch OLED or bought a new Switch got Mario Kart and a bunch of other things on Black Friday sales.
Mm.
But, as I was saying, Nintendo did, I was kind of right, because I said Nintendo was kind of hoping the new hardware would sell the game,
Yeah.
not the game would sell new hardware.
Right.
And it looks like I was right.
Okay.
It looks like people bought new in October, bought new Switches. Half of the people who bought new Switches bought the OLED model.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like everybody who did that picked up Metroid Dread.
Yeah, it apparently I have no idea what the hell I'm talking about, and apparently Dread turned out to be a really good game. And
I don't know if I would go that. I mean, I haven't played it because Metroid was never my bag.
yeah, same here.
But as I was saying on episode 6,
Mm-hmm.
Metroid pretty much had the month to itself, because
Yeah.
the only other game that released in October that was even worth mentioning, I think WarioWare came out earlier that month.
Oh, I have not heard anybody talk about that game at all.
I mean, I bought the WarioWare game.
Yeah, well, I mean, the only person I've heard talk about that game is you.
Yeah, no. And towards the end of the month, Mario Party came out.
Oh,
Or did that come out? Or did that come out like in November?
I don't know. I don't know about that game.
But the Switch, nothing really came out that was even remotely to the level of Metroid.
Yeah.
So got an entire month to itself. People were looking at Switches because Nintendo released a new piece of hardware.
Right. And
Nintendo did everything in their power to kind of link the new hardware to this game.
Right.
And it seemed to work out. 800,000 units in the US is nothing for Metroid, nothing to sneeze at. We'll see if it breaks the 3 million mark by the end of January.
Right.
If it doesn't get to 2 million before the end of the year, I don't think it's going to be very possible, because January comes Pokemon Legend Arceus, and no one's going to care about Metroid at that point.
Are you playing the new Diamond and Pearl game?
No.
I was kind of hoping you were, because I'd want to hear your opinion on it.
Because it's not a new game.
I get that. That's like one of like I mean I'm yeah
it's not a new game.
yeah
And as far as the re-releases go, it's one of the worst ones.
that's interesting.
Like Oris had a lot of like
I
quality of life improvements.
I adore ORAS. In my opinion, ORAS was the last good Pokemon game. That's my opinion.
Okay, I mean, you don't own a Switch, so you probably didn't get a chance to play Let's Go Eevee.
No, I did not. But even so, like
the Let's Go. I actually like the Let's Go formula.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And kind of hope that they revisit it and do like, you know, Let's Go for each, like a Let's Go version of each of the generations.
That'd be interesting. You know what? I would definitely say that if they did a Let's Go version of Gold and Silver, that would pique my interest for sure. That would absolutely pique my interest. I would be very curious.
I'm looking for, you know, Let's Go Emerald.
I don't think that would ever happen. I really don't. If they didn't do it for ORAS, if they didn't do an Emerald for ORAS, I don't think they would do it for the.
Well, I mean, ORAS had a lot of the Emerald stuff baked back into.
Yeah, they had like the whole Emerald expansion.
Yeah,
which was cool, by the way.
Yeah, they baked with ORAS. They and that's why I don't like Diamond and Pearl that much, because there's not a lot of Platinum stuff.
Platinum was so good. Oh my god, that was such a good game.
It was Diamond Pearl Platinum, right?
Yeah, Diamond Pearl Platinum. That's correct.
Okay, so yeah, there's some of the Platinum stuff, like the final Platinum Dex is the Dex in BDSP. But like a lot of the Platinum storyline stuff and a lot of the Platinum editions, are missing.
Yeah, probably like the warp dimension and stuff like that.
Yep.
Yeah, it sucks. Have you seen the price tag on like the original Platinum games now? They go for like above $100.
That doesn't surprise me.
I've been trying to like hunt one down. I was like, I want to own like an original copy of Platinum, and it's like unless you're willing to shell out like $100+ for it, good luck. Like good freaking luck.
And I mean, so BDSP came out this month as well, or late last month. So yeah, I would be curious to see what the second and third month sales are.
Yeah.
For Metroid Dread. Because if it's got staying power and can survive a Pokemon remake, and then
I don't think it will. I'll be honest with you.
And then a new Pokemon game.
Yeah, no way.
I mean, it didn't really survive Black Friday sales.
Interesting. Like it didn't do well for Black Friday?
Well, no. What ended up so it debuted like Metroid Dread actually debuted like the number 3 game in North America for the month of October.
Right.
It was Far Cry 6, a Call of Duty game, and Metroid Dread.
I've been hearing a lot of mixed reviews about the new Far Cry game, by the way, because I remember you were excited. Yeah, I remember you were excited and then disappointed. And then I've also heard from other people who have been playing it that it's not that great.
Yeah, it's barely a Far Cry game. I don't know what Ubisoft is doing to their sandbox games, but it just feels very watered down and not good. The DLC is starting to drop, so I'll be interested in playing those stories. But other than that,
did you actually play all the way through Far Cry 6 already?
No, I haven't played all the way through it yet.
That right there is a testament. In other words, you played it and were like, "This is shit," and then gave up.
I got halfway through it, and I was like, I was like, the problem is the gun combat doesn't even feel all that great.
Yeah. I feel like that's like a testament is when like, you know, what says if a game is really good or not is like if you're like a diehard fan of something, like if you're a diehard fan of a game franchise, and then you're like super excited about the new game, and then you get your hands on it and you start playing it, and you're just like, I can't play this, and then you just drop it like a cold dead fish, and it's
Oh, I
like,
drop things like cold dead fishes all the time. My life is
yeah.
weird.
Well, that's how I was with Fallout 4. Gotta understand, I was so excited for Fallout 4. Like mega hyped for Fallout 4. I played that game and I was like, I can't play this game. I can't. Like I can't do this, you know? Um so I mean I know that
I think part
feeling.
of my problem with Far Cry 6
Yeah.
is you can't pick up weapons off of your enemies.
Oh. Okay.
You're stuck to the loadout that you leave your base with.
Hmm.
And
You
that's
can't like change things
really
on a dime.
no, yeah, you can't. So it kind of ushers you into uh like one tried and true weapon, which is almost invariably a sniper rifle.
Okay.
So the game pretty much boils down to go to your mission objective, find the find a vantage point that is almost invariably almost always there. Take your cell phone, mark all your targets,
Mm-hmm.
and then snipe out the alarm system on the base, and then anybody who could call for help, and then just start picking off everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, if I wanted to play Sniper 4, I would just bought Sniper 4.
Yeah. So I mean, you prefer Far Cry because it's more open. Because you mentioned like you like that you were disappointed that it's not as much of a sandbox as it used to be, right?
Well, no, it's still a sandbox. It's just
Limited.
well no, it's kind of barren.
Hmm. Okay.
Like there's definitely uh there's not a lot of mucking about in between checkpoints and bases,
Right. Right.
and there's really not a lot of uh like side quests
Hmm.
outside of generic, you know, take this, you know, conquer this base.
And I assume that the older games used to be like that more, right?
Hey, no, the older games had some pretty good side quests.
Yeah.
Like you had the story quests and you had the side quests. Then the last Far Cry game, you had story quests and then you had side quests. And the story quests felt like they were part of the story, and the side quests just felt like they were part of the world.
Okay.
However, you had to do a lot of side quests to progress in the story because you had to like fill a progress bar before you could access a boss fight.
Oh. Huh. All right.
Far Cry 6 has
So then
this.
they weren't actually side quests. Then they're still technically part of like I
Okay,
mean,
but
maybe they're not part of the main storyline, but you have to get them done.
right. Well, yeah,
So I always think of
that's
side quests as being things that like you can choose to do them or you can just completely ignore them.
yeah, but in practice, your storyline quests took care of the progress bar like 80% of the way.
Right.
Here, the story quests don't feel like they're part of the story, and they don't really do anything to progress the story, and you end up doing a lot of side quests. So you end up having to do the side quest things, which is just base conquering. It's just I don't know. It just feels really like the story. The story is a big letdown in this game,
Mm.
which is sad because the trailer made it seem like the story was going to be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. That's. I don't know. I mean, you know how I feel about like large company video games at this point.
Yeah,
Like,
you're a hipster.
yeah, I know, but I feel like it's justified because of like what you just now told me. You know, like they just. I feel like a lot of like large video game companies, they just don't give a shit. Like they don't care anymore. Like, you know, it sucks. Like they used to care and now they're just like, well, we're billionaires now, so screw it. Why do we need to care about how good our game is anymore?
The thing is like they're kind of in a damned if you do, damned if you don't position.
Yeah.
Because if they just keep re-releasing Far Cry 4
Mm-hmm.
over and over and over again.
Are you implying that Far Cry 4 was like peak?
Actually, Far Cry 3 was kind of peak, but 4 was still acceptable.
Okay.
But if they keep re-releasing Far Cry 4 over and over and over and over and over again, they're going to catch shit for just re-releasing the same game over and over and over and over again. So they have to innovate on the system. The problem is Ubisoft is making bad decisions.
Hmm.
It's not like they don't. I don't think it's that they don't care. I think it's just that they're dumb.
I don't know.
They take things. They take things that are working,
Yeah.
and they
Fixing what's not broke?
they build upon them to the point where they don't work.
Yeah, fixing what's not broke.
I mean, to their credit, they took the harassment about the tower climbing trope to heart,
Yeah.
and none of their games have radio towers anymore. So, I mean, that's good on them, I suppose.
What was that? Was that your phone?
Yeah, that was my phone.
All right, man.
I got a sports notification.
Okay.
Apparently, the Jaguars fired Urban Meyer.
Cool. I'm sure that if I was a sports fan, that would be relevant to me.
Right. I mean,
It's okay. I was the one who asked. It's all good.
Yeah, no, sorry, my phone had a notification.
That's fine. You're okay. Don't worry about it. I keep my phone on vibrate constantly because I feel like I'm always at some point recording or streaming something. So I just learned to leave it on vibrate and check it frequently. Also, I'm not popular enough for me to be getting tons of notifications for anything. So
I need a new phone case.
yeah.
I was never really happy with this phone case when I bought it.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things I don't like about it is that the buttons, the pass through cushion on the buttons,
Yeah.
make the buttons really hard to press, and it makes it almost impossible to toggle the ringer the silent mode toggle.
Oh, I see. I've been using a case called a Tudia on my phone for like my past 2 or 3 phones, and they've been really good. They're very hardcore. They like definitely do a really good job at protecting my phone, and never had any problems with the buttons. So I've been like reliably buying Tudia cases for a while now.
I
Pretty
usually
good.
go with Otter.
Oh yeah, OtterBox.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Otter didn't have a 12 case when I bought my new phone.
Ah, I see. I see.
So maybe I'll see what Otter has and go back to Otter.
Look into Tudia too, which is Tudia, Tudia. Not sponsored, by the way.
So you know what other big game companies kind of shitty that you shouldn't like,
A lot of them.
but you do because you love them?
Okay.
Microsoft.
Well, okay, I wouldn't say I love Microsoft. I just play a lot of their games. Like, I mean, I don't, like, for example, like, I thought you were going to say Nintendo because I've, sucked Nintendo's cock a few times on the podcast.
Oh,
But,
no.
but I've never sucked Microsoft's cock on the podcast before. I just play a lot of their games. I don't give a shit about what they're doing.
I think I dissolved you of your love of Nintendo. I think I educated you that the only reason why Nintendo looks like the good guy company is because Nintendo was never in a position to be the bad guy company.
Yeah, because there's so many other companies that take that spot for them.
Well, no, just they didn't have the infrastructure in place for all the kind of fuckery thing people like EA and Microsoft and stuff are known for.
Right. I mean, there's some pretty like I mean, I'm aware that Nintendo has done some pretty gross things. Like I mean, they're you know, not allowing streamers to stream their games for quite a long time was some pretty gross stuff that they were doing. But and then they had the creator program, which was also gross. And then they got rid of that because they know that they were getting in trouble for it. But
Right.
yeah, but I mean, I don't really, you know, I'm not really like a hardcore Microsoft fanboy. I'm more of just like a blind Microsoft consumer. You know what I mean? Where
Nah,
it's
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure you're a Microsoft fanboy.
what have I said that implies that?
Oh man, you love you some Minecraft.
I mean, yeah, but I mean that I'm not like Microsoft, thank you so much for allowing me to play Minecraft. Oh my god, like I'm more of like I like Mojang, like I like that company, and I like Minecraft. I adore that game. It's more of like for example, like I love Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion and Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim. I love those games. I
Bruh.
hate Bethesda. Like, what a piece of shit company, though. You know, like, like you know what I mean? Like, I
You
don't.
mean you mean what a shitty subsidiary of Microsoft?
Yeah, but that's exactly my point, though. Like, I mean, I could, like, I mean, this. Oh my god! Now I'm gonna like start doing this whole song and dance again. I used to love Magic, but it's the constant like, oh well, I love Magic, but
Bruh.
Wizards of the Coast, you know, like what are you gonna do? Like, you know what? How about this? How about this, Lettuce? How about you and me? Here's what we're gonna do, and I know I'm only gonna say this because I know we're not actually gonna do it. Let's just every shitty game company, every shitty company in existence, okay, which there are many. Let's just stop using them. I want you after this podcast to shut off your computer and just not use Microsoft. Just stop it, okay?
I mean, I could do it probably way easier than you could.
I bet you're probably right, but like, what are you going to do? Are you going to boot up Ubuntu
Yeah.
for real?
Yeah, I mean, I could probably switch to Linux pretty quickly.
So the thing is that my dad has offered to set up Linux on like all my computers. I actually have one computer that runs completely on Linux. That he set up himself, and I do occasionally use. Sadly, the hardware is old enough to the point of where it's struggling. It can't even connect to the internet anymore because I think the internet card on the laptop is just dead dunzos. But I mean, like, but let's like my specific point wasn't even just Microsoft. Like you mentioned like I mean we can look at a ton of different companies
I mean, you'll pry Apple for my cold dead fingers, but
well, but that's my point. Like, were you know what were you in I was working, you got to understand, I made a major effort to not bring this up in the podcast because like I was going to avoid it, but now that we're talking about this I feel like I can't avoid it anymore. Did you stick around in my Minecraft stream the other night for me to get into the giant rant that I got into? Were you there for that?
no, I fell asleep.
Yeah, I
No,
figured.
I finally, fell asleep in my drunken stupor.
Yeah, I figured. I made a major rant about YouTube in my Minecraft stream the other night. And but the thing is that my rant wasn't targeted specifically at YouTube or another offending company that was doing some very shady business. And the point that I was trying to make in that rant that I had was that basically what's going on is you and me have talked about this. People are mad at YouTube for removing the dislike counter, right?
I'm not. I think it was a great idea.
I don't care. Not about what you think about it. I mean, I don't care that the dislike counter was removed is what I'm saying. I don't care. Like, cause, and my lack of care is based on the fact that I know that no matter what happens, it won't change. That's what that is. But I genuinely don't care. I've accepted the fact that it's gone forever, and I'm okay with that.
I like the fact that I get to feel like I'm the only person disliking your bullshit.
How very spiteful of you.
Yeah, no, it's like I go across a video and I don't even it's like I think it's okay. I don't love it or something. I just think it's okay, or I'm kind of mad on it. But I see like no one else has disliked it. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I'm gonna throw it a dislike.
I hope that I hope that there's like millions of people that think that way. I hope that there are millions of people that think like you in that way, Lettuce. Because I would love the fact that like them removing the dislike counter doesn't actually change the statistic. It makes it so it's not visible, but I like the idea that it doesn't. No.
What it does, it just makes it worse.
Yeah,
exactly. Because there's people like me
spite clicking.
And it's not even spite. It's just like, hey, I get to be the only person who dislikes this. It makes me feel special.
So, the thing is that I was discussing in the Minecraft stream is that there are people who are very mad about the dislike counter being removed. And also there's another controversy going on about a Japanese animation company that is humongous, like literally Toei Animation, who are the producers of Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, One Piece, humongous multi-million-dollar animations like those. Yeah. And they basically took down 100 and they claimed 150 videos on this one large animation YouTube channel, and had them removed from his channel. And basically have single-handedly destroyed...
Get wrecked, weeb.
Huh?
I said get wrecked, weeb.
Whatever, man. Because that's clearly the point that we're trying to make here. But overall, the thing is that everybody's really mad about it. And if you go on, there's multiple YouTube channels that are mad about it. There are lots of people yelling and screaming about all this stuff on Twitter. And my point that I was making in my Minecraft stream is it bugs me that people don't understand the numbers of what's going on here. There are multiple thousands of people who, and rightly so, I can understand like why, without understanding the numbers, I can understand why these people think that this is going to work. Okay. So we have like, the guy who got all of his videos removed, 150 videos removed. He has like something like multiple 100,000s, like I think like 600,000 subscribers or something, right? And he had all these videos. So that's 600,000 or so people that are probably pissed off for that guy, right?
Yeah.
And then you have the multiple hundreds of thousands of people who are on YouTube who are angry about the dislike counter being removed, right? We could probably say that there's probably a few 100,000 in that, statistic, right?
Oh yeah, easily. I mean, if they could claim 1 trillion people have watched Minecraft, Let's Plays on YouTube, we can definitely make that. Assess.
So we can say that there's about a collection of and these are not numbers to scoff at. Okay, they're not. 600,000 people angry about the Tohei claim. And maybe a few multiple hundreds of thousands. It could be as big as 800,000 because that's a lot of, it could be legitimately like around 800,000, 600,000 people that are angry about dislikes being removed, right? So let's just say that those are numbers that are real, and that's nothing to scoff at. That's a lot of people.
Yeah, that's a lot of angry people.
They're competing against 2 billion users of the YouTube platform. Okay? Those are the numbers. So I looked it up. I was curious on my Minecraft stream, and I looked up the numbers of how many users are on the YouTube platform that are actively using. The statistic basically said that there was
Man, you are overthinking this.
No, because like, so the whole thing is that like, if 800,000 people, like 600,000, 800,000 people, like left YouTube because they were angry about all this stuff, right? That means that out of 2 billion people, 800,000 or 600,000 people left. Okay. And even with those numbers, that would still not change the opinion of YouTube or Toei. Because 600,000 to maybe 800,000 people leaving is nothing compared to the overall number of 2 billion people that are actively using the platform.
Right.
And then on top of that, and then you also have to be able, you first of all have to be able to convince 600 to 800,000 people to leave, okay? Which is, you're not going to do that. Like, that's not something that's going to happen. And then on top of that, you then also have to be able to convince the channels that have those user bases to leave YouTube, which you're also not going to be able to do, because even though it might be easier to convince a single person to leave YouTube, the money that they make is primarily centered around YouTube. I mean, unless they are way deep dived into, Patreon and merchandise, which admittedly they probably are. But
I mean, they'd almost have to be.
Yeah. But the thing is that YouTube is this, you're not going to be able to convince them to leave YouTube. And therefore, that makes even less reasons for those numbers of 600 to 800,000 people to leave the platform. So you would literally have to have this mass exodus of people just yeeting out of YouTube that is on par with the number of around 2 billion people. So it's not going to happen. They're not going to bring dislikes back, and they're going to let Toei get away with claiming this stuff. And it's gross and I hate it, but I've also learned that that's just how it works, and you're not going to be able to do anything about it.
I mean, you've had your run-ins with anime companies.
Correct, I have.
Yeah, you know what's up on their end.
Yeah,
and you've seen some of the crap people have had to do.
Yep.
And in order to pirate anime on YouTube.
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
So
on Tohei's, there's two parts to this where I think you're just grossly overthinking this. First of all, Tohei has to protect their copyright. If they ever want to make copyright claims in the United States, they have to always make copyright claims in the United States. They can't make it look like they're arbitrarily enforcing their copyright, because then a copyright court will say, you made it look like your license is more Creative Commons, or it's share and attribute, or whatever classification for the copyright is, and not strict copyrighted, because you let this and this happen. So they're kind of forced to do the strike, to strike all the things, as bad as it looks. Sometimes they're kind of forced into it. I wish copyright laws worked a little bit differently, but they are the way they are.
Mm-hmm.
On the YouTube side, I think you're grossly overthinking it. I mean, you're partially right. You would have to convince 2 billion people to leave YouTube and stay gone. However, I don't think even then YouTube cares. because those 2 billion people won't affect revenue for another 3 months. YouTube makes their ad deals.
That's why I always say boycotts don't work.
Yeah,
Like you
YouTube.
either leave for good or you don't do anything at all.
Well, right. But YouTube makes its ad deals in in a quarterly fashion.
Sure. I understand
So
that.
they've already got they've already got the money they're going to get.
Mm-hmm.
If everybody leaves YouTube and YouTube goes dead, is still gonna be able to, for at least a quarter,
Survive.
they're gonna survive. They're gonna renegotiate.
Yeah.
And they're still gonna be able to get the same rates because they're YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And
but this is all my point, though. Like the point that I'm trying to make is that you can't, this is what I've been kind of like trying to say to people, is because it's
right.
like you have all these people who are screaming about like, make these changes, and it's like they don't need to.
No,
they will never listen to you because they know that they've already got it in the bag. They don't care. Right. They don't need to care.
Yeah, we do not pay. We do not pay YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
The
ad companies. Yeah,
the ad companies pay YouTube.
Exactly.
YouTube will do the things that make the ad companies, the advertisers, happy.
Mm-hmm.
And what makes the advertisers happy is not having their shit things review bombed.
Yeah, exactly. But you're literally saying exactly like what my sentiments are about this. Like that's exactly correct. Like the overall point is that like it's hard to like talk about it because basically my overall point is very pessimistic and defeatist. It's basically like
it's reality. It's not pessimistic and defeatist. It's reality.
Yeah, like, it's either accept it for what it is, or accept the fact that it's not going to change and actively make the choice to leave, and therefore you're not a part of it anymore. And therefore you don't have to stress yourself out about it anymore because you're not a part of it. That's all it is to me.
Yeah. Very rarely do consumers really have any power.
Yeah.
Especially when consumers aren't the sole revenue for the product that they're consuming.
Yeah. It's like you have to be able to compete with obscene numbers of people. That's the thing. That's the point that I'm trying to make. Is that
I know it's not you have to compete with obscene. I don't even think it's you have to compete with the obscene amount of apathetic people, which is where you're going with this. Because you have to compete against the apathy. I don't even think it goes that far. I think it is you have to compete against the money.
Yeah.
Which
is also going to be much larger than the number of people itself. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Like, so you're not competing against the apathy. You're competing against the money. Mm-hmm. If you are consuming a product where the consumers aren't the sole source of revenue for that product, the consumer is voiceless.
Yeah.
Because the other revenue ends up pretty much overtailing sales revenue. What ends up happening is you don't affect change, you cause a shutdown. No one wants to lose YouTube. No one wants to kill YouTube. Everybody wants YouTube to change. No one can affect change on YouTube. We can only kill it.
Yeah.
And the thing is we can't even kill it immediately.
Yeah,
It would be everybody would have to leave YouTube and stay gone for at least 6 months before it started affecting YouTube's bottom line.
Yeah. That's exactly my point though, because like that's why that's what I was mentioning before is boycotts don't work. Okay. You have to, if you really like, that's why it's not about like saying like, I'm going to leave and therefore they're going to change. That's not what this is about. You have to say to yourself, I can't stand this. Therefore I don't want to be a part of it. therefore I will leave and not come back. And that's it.
Right.
You can't say I'm leaving because I expect change. You can't do that.
Yeah,
Because
no,
it
no.
doesn't work.
Yeah, because if you've left, they doubly don't have to listen to you.
Yeah. Like it's literally that you have to accept the idea that you have to be so frustrated with it that you just leave it completely and you're okay with the fact that you will never come back. And
Right.
even if you never come back, they still probably won't change. But at the very least, you can have some peace of mind that you're not a part of it anymore. That's it. That's all you get from it. So, and the other thing is that, like, you know, if you just want, like, and this is like why it's like, oh, like, well, you're being hypocritical because you're so against all this stuff. And it's like, listen, I've already accepted what it is. And the only thing I can do is try to fit myself into whatever the monstrosity is that this is. You know, like I like creating content. Okay. I enjoy making videos and streaming, and I like putting it on YouTube, and there you go. So like I've accepted the fact that, you know, they're going to do this kind of stuff and there's nothing I can change about it. So I'm just going to, you know, keep on doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So
And to be perfectly honest, a lot of these changes don't actually negatively affect anybody.
yeah, no, I mean that's the thing is because I mean I am still actually brainstorming on a way for me to do animation reviews while also, you know, trying to come up with how I'm going to not get in the way of any of these large animation companies, because I just don't want to deal with them. I don't. And on top of that, I've already expressed my opinion that I don't care about the dislike counter. There's no reason for me to get all mad about it. And there's no reason for me to like try and argue the points of why it was so good and so useful, you know, because it's like, yes,
Yeah,
it was a good tool. It was a good
it,
tool.
it was
but
a great tool. It was a it was a great tool, and for the reasons why it was a great tool is the reasons it had to go.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I 100% agree with that. So, and I mean, it's just like, yeah, it's gross, it's disgusting, and it's terrible, but you know, like that's how it goes. That's how the cookie crumbles for this one. So there you go.
Right.
Accept it or leave. You know, like I'm sorry, but that's how I feel about it. Accept it
Yeah.
or leave. And if you leave, nothing will change. So you have to literally just be okay with the idea that you're just gone forever.
Yeah. You have to accept that you are now living a life without YouTube.
Yeah. So
And I mean, good luck figuring out what that's going to look like.
yeah, because they're only going to get bigger and you know, change the media industry continuously as time goes on. So maybe something bigger will come out eventually. And because I mean, it's kind of like you know, Netflix to Blockbuster, and then now YouTube to Netflix, right? I mean, Netflix is still this big thing, but you know what I mean? Like it's like, and honestly, like Netflix competing with, you know, Disney Plus and, you know, Peacock or whatever, and what, you know, all these things. So it's like you just kind of have to like wait until somebody's going to
The
basically do
analogies
YouTube.
don't necessarily fit.
Well, I mean, my only point is you just like have to wait until something's going to kind of do what YouTube's doing, but better, I guess. And then eventually
Yeah.
YouTube is going to slowly like be a little less popular. And then that'll just kind of radiate across, I guess, I don't know, years, maybe decades or something.
Yeah,
So
YouTube did something quite unique, and no one's really been able to
replicate it.
replicate it or compete with it.
Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of what it is. And yeah. But yeah, I was talking about it a bunch in the Minecraft stream, and it's just because like on Twitter I see people yelling about it constantly, and it's just like, you know, like I get it, but like
I mean, that's what Twitter's there for.
yeah, I know. It's just like I just wish that they could kind of like understand like what you and me just now talked about. You know what I mean? Like, and a part of it is that, like, you know, like, I bet you every single one of those people are using YouTube probably like right now, or, you know, every day, you know, like they're yelling and screaming about
Oh,
it. And
I mean, a lot of those people are like, you know, pretty solid YouTube creators.
probably, yeah.
And
Yeah.
and of all the things that YouTube has done to their small creators, the dislike button is like the least innocuous thing ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like for all of the, you know, ding dongs that YouTube has put in the colon of your typical creator, like the removing the counter on the dislike button, it doesn't even, you know, make penetration.
Yeah. It's like small potatoes.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's the tic tac.
Yeah. So it's just like it just kind of like is sad to me a little bit that they don't, like, that not only they don't understand, it's like they won't comprehend like the bigger numbers and picture of all this. And then on top of that, like, they also continue to just use it, you know? And it's just
Yeah.
like it's just like, well, I mean, I here's the thing. I hate when I have to say that the users are the problem, but, you know, they are. So, I mean, you know, I like, because it's just like, because like I like people and I like, you know, being on
Oh,
YouTube.
no.
You know, like
100% YouTube wishes that they were that they are, you know, Disney Plus. They wish they didn't have to exist for the masses.
mhm.
They wish they could, you know, only serve like a couple of companies. They wish that they could get away with, you know, being just a you know, a repository for ABC, NBC, CBS. They wish they could do that.
Mhm.
They kind of wish that they were Hulu.
Yeah.
But that's not what they started being. And just like the problems OnlyFans comes up with, they realize how bad they would be, how bad off they would be if they suddenly decided to pivot away from, you know, being an open platform.
Mhm. It's weird, but whatever. It's fine. I mean, I'm not going to stop making content on YouTube. Like, I mean, like I said, I've accepted all these things. It's fine.
I mean,
Oh yeah,
I mean, I watch YouTube. Still spend a lot of time watching YouTube.
I
And
spend all my time watching YouTube.
and if I come across a video that doesn't have that it looks like you know, no one's disliked it, boom, I'm gonna give it a dislike.
You know what?
Like like this video from Cinder Shadow where apparently Minecraft has gotten 1 trillion views.
Yeah, man.
Like he did a stream here.
Yeah.
Like no one else has disliked that. Boom. I'm just gonna be like, no. If no one else has disliked it and everybody liked it,
Yeah, man.
boom. Desolator Magic's got some a real feature on Google Pixel 6 Pro. Got some leaks here.
See, I wasn't sure if you were actually doing it, but the fact that you clicked over and an ad popped up, now I know for sure you're actually doing this.
Desolator Magic here is a good guy. He's a friend of ours, right?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, I love that, man.
Everybody loves Desolator. He's got this video about the big Kamigawa leaks.
Yeah, tell me about it. Yeah.
No one's disliked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, guess what?
Oh my god.
Let's see here.
Oh jeez, you know what? I gotta say this to you right now.
Arlo right there got a video to your boo Microsoft.
Uh-huh.
Oh, look at that. Boom. No one else has disliked it. It's got 6,000 likes, not a single dislike. I'm the first person to dislike that. I feel like a beautiful, unique snowflake.
Listen, Lettuce, I want to say this to you right now. You're a goddamn gentleman, and you're a scholar. Oh my god. There you go.
There's that Minecraft stream from the sucker Mr. Habanero.
Oh, I will kill you. I will kill you.
Boom.
I will kill you, Lettuce. You're an asshole. Oh my god.
I mean, he'll release a podcast episode. I'll like that.
Bruh.
You, man. All right, you know what? I don't want to. You know what? I'm so. I'm disgusted. I want to end this. This podcast is over. This podcast is over.
Oh, really? Just gonna take your ball and go home?
Yeah, you know what? I am. Like. Listen, guys. Disliking my videos is where I draw the line, man.
Let's hear. But congrats on Minecraft. Apparently, getting 1 trillion views on YouTube.
All right, guys. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate y'all coming in to listen to us. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. Don't be like Lettuce. Please do not dislike on. Don't be that unique snowflake like Lettuce who has to dislike a video because he doesn't see the dislikes. So go ahead and just like the video, leave a comment down below, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, hit the notification bell, check in the description below for all the wonderful links. Wonderful shout out to all the wonderful Patreon members, which include Bo Falcon, Fajuk Enterprises, James P, Miss Rebecca, as well as Scorpageist. You guys are amazing. Do I even dare to ask? Lettuce, is there anything else you want to say?
Shapoopy.
All right, everybody. Thank you all so much for being here. Follow your dreams. We have been the Imaginary Boys. Good night, everybody.